Welcome to the Global Business Talk Show. My name is Janan Saint-Fleur, your host, and today we have the privilege of having with us the sales director, the sales training director, Max Carré. And when Max is here, if he's not talking about health, he's talking about something that is very important, which is sales. Good morning, Max. How are you?
Good morning, Janan. How you been?
I am doing well, thank you. It's a pleasure to have you. I think this is our second show of the year,
It could be.
and you know how much I enjoy talking to you about things in general. But when it comes to sell, I think since everybody feels like, I don't want to be a salesperson. I don't want to be called a salesperson. I don't want to make sales. If somebody says, let's go do some sales, oh my God, everybody's afraid of that. And today we're going to talk about something that is very important. We're going to talk about hardcore selling.
Yes,
Ugh,
yes. I am
even
so
myself, I'm afraid.
well. I'm so glad that you're talking about that. You show me a company that's actually growing massively, geometrically. You'll know that that company has salespeople. Now, the biggest part is that a lot of times business owners
Mhm,
or even regular people, they have an issue with that word sales.
mhm.
Because back in the days, there was a lot of sales people who were sleazing out, they'll do whatever, even selling your mama in order to get a sale. Well, what happens is that salespeople have gotten that rep that is so bad that most people, whenever they hear that you're a salesperson, they quickly grab up their purse,
And
give
then
it. I mean, they just give it and they slightly go in the back of the room and then exit out because they know they're going to be taken advantage of.
that's right.
So hardcore selling, what it has to do is, first of all, you want to really look at preparing the audience. It's not just take any Joe that's off the streets and then put as a prospect. The prospect has to be properly prepared, which means they might have read some free reports. They might have read something about your book or something that you have, some shows that you've done, that they have an insight on what it is so that when they come into the sales process, then you know that you have a group of people who are prepared to actually be given the information so that they can take action to really solve whatever they need to be solved. So entirely sales is not a bad thing. It's just most people they think that everybody should be presented to the sales process unprepared. And there's a list of 8 different things, and I'm not going to go through all of them that people do or business owners they will do
Mhm.
that ruins it for salespeople. And
Okay.
when they do it, what they're actually doing is they're creating a memory and an experience for the prospect that is ridiculous, and bad news travel fast.
Indeed.
So one of them is the very fact that whenever you're getting into the sales process, they're letting you know that I'm a salesperson.
Mhm.
The second mistake, I'm a very good one. So whenever the person hearing you're a very good one, they're like, okay, you're a person that really know how to twist your tongue to
And
actually and corner people in a way and where you could have them sign it on the dotted line without them wanting to do that. So that's usually one of the worst things you can do is presenting yourself that way. So when we talk about hardcore selling, you want to prepare the prospects before because if they're not prepared, they're not ready to be sold to.
okay, what would be the difference between hardcore selling and just plain sell? I think I'm a salesperson. I sell the benefit of the chamber. I sell the benefit of consulting with me. I sell the fact that I'm knowledgeable on certain topics. But I think I do it a little, uh, a very smooth way.
Subtle.
Maybe subtle will be the word. But I think if I expose my knowledge, um, it's easy for people to trust that I could sell them something that is good. I remember back in the days, my first job was with ENS, and I was a female among guys who were quote unquote salesperson, and what we used to sell was entertainment center. So whenever somebody will come, they'll look at me as, well, she's a girl. What does she know about the transmitters, about speakers, and stuff like that? But to me, And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to make the mistake of saying I was a very good salesperson. And how I did that, it was that I knew my product. To me, knowing my product help me expose to you the benefit of that product. So therefore, it was okay. So this is what it does, and this is how good it is. Do you want it or you don't want it? So it wasn't a mimic like I was trying to make you buy it when you didn't want it. So when I hear somebody says hardcore selling, I'm thinking, oh my God, that's mean that they're coming to me with force.
Yes, that would be the perception. Now, always remember, you're in the store, they came to you. So the
Yes.
very fact they came to you, that's already not the intention of hardcore selling.
Okay.
Hardcore selling goes to the next level. It's how you really prepare the sales presentation. Because a lot of times people don't understand the sales process. There are some clean key indicators to really get you through the sales process. So the very fact that they came in, that's a different thing that's if you were doing an outbound call. Now,
Mm.
to go back on what you were saying initially, when you talked about the sales part, the sales that you were referring to is the one that I'm giving you the benefit, explaining to you the benefit of the chamber, but really what I'm saying to you that it's upon qualification
True.
because you always tell them that it's upon acceptance. That
Indeed.
means there's no
Guarantee
guarantee,
that
even if you pay. There's no guarantee we're gonna take you
true.
because we can run a background check and or we do a normal little social media check and we see the type of stuff you're posting. We're like, we don't
We're
want
not
that.
with that.
So basically, that's a different one. It's coming from a position of power that more like they need you as opposed to you needing them.
Okay.
That's the type of selling that you do, which is still going under the category of hardcore selling because it's basically you're doing what we call the takeaway. The takeaway is basically I'm just sending it to you that way as if I don't need it.
Mhm.
You get it?
Yes, I
But
yeah.
at the end of the day, it fits well if I can get that.
Mhm.
Now let's really go back to the part where you were saying you were among the males.
Mhm.
When you're among the males, you see, a lot of times people think that features, when you say you know your product, a lot of people think features does the sellings. No.
Yes. Okay. I was able to make
It's
commission.
well, yes, you can. And imagine how much more if you understood that is the benefits.
The benefits
There's the
of
features and the benefits.
okay.
So a lot of times people are saying, what would be a feature? Well, it can sound this and that. It can
It
go to
has surround
so many
sound.
megabytes.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, the benefits is something that you're selling them an emotion.
Okay.
So that when you're down, when you're on your couch with your family, you're hearing every bits and sound of that,
Yes. Mm.
exactly. So when
Okay.
you go to that level, and I always tell people, you notice that in any economy, you could hear that there is a drought or real salespeople never have issues with whether it's listen to me, whether it's pandemic or bad economy, whatever. It doesn't matter for them because sales is sales. You never hear that they're finding a bunch of salespeople. If they're finding the salespeople, know that they're not selling.
Do not sell.
Any company that's having a salesperson that sells your sticking here, unless you're very toxic
Yes.
and you're being, what to all the other people. But if you're selling, you're bringing that money, you're bringing the dough, you're closing these sales.
Mhm.
Guess what? You always have a job. Salespeople, good ones, the ones who are selling, always have a job. They don't know droughts. They don't know pandemic. They don't know
They
anything
have a
about
recession.
economy. No, it's
All
recession.
they know is that they're selling and they're getting the commission.
And that's what happens to a lot of business owners. A lot of businesses are failing right now or closed just because they didn't know how to actually change or really move themselves, transform their system real quick to be able to actually give a service. Now, people would say, well, how did you do that? Well, I have a friend of mine. He's a restaurant. The minute he realized that there was this issue, he turned into curbside immediately. He went and he brought his own barbecue thing, and what he did, he still generated $1 million in a month where his shop was, I mean, his restaurant was closed. But what he did, he pulled out the barbecue and he did half off for all the service workers, and some of the other people who are on the front line free. By him doing that, and make sure the media got attention to that, and more people came in, and he sold to them. He still ended up making money. This is why he's part of my group, Renegade Millionaire. We do things differently. We don't let down. We always know that whenever there's adversity, whenever that level that the adversity comes, the opposite side of it is also, it's also our advantage.
True.
So no matter how deep the risk is, the other side of it is our benefits, is that reward that we're looking for. So it all depends about where that state of mind and what you're allowing to go between the two, that space between your ears. Who are you listening to? If you're listening to that there's drought, there's no money out there, guess what? There is no money out there. But if you know there is, understand this. For all my salespeople who probably listen to this, or people who are considering going to sales, just watch Bloomberg. Don't watch any other filth that's happening. Just watch Bloomberg, and you'll see money is always moving. It's moving. There's always deals that's being made. So you decide whether you want to sell a $1 thing, okay, or you're gonna decide to sell $1 million thing. You get to decide. Because at the end of the day, there's 7 different categories that you're dealing with. Whether you sell a million item at $1 or one item per million, in whatever the combination between the 7 of them.
Sure. Now, Max, is it important for a business owner, and when I say business owner, whether it's a solopreneur, whether it's an entrepreneur, or whether you have a big company with 20 people working for you, is it important for you to have that mind frame where you think it's important for you to have what they call a sales team? And when I say sales team, it's not necessarily like you were talking about the curbside, the people who are actually standing outside coming to you and saying, okay, do you want to buy this? The sales team could be somebody who's selling my image, somebody who's selling the idea of you could just go curbside instead of coming inside.
Mm-hmm.
The person selling the idea of, you could sit on a patio and still come and eat. Is that what your sales team is about when you talk about sales team?
Yeah, well, anything that makes that register ring.
Okay.
If you can make the registering, that's all that matters. Clink, clink. That's what that matters. Now let's go even a little further, okay? And I'm glad that you really mentioned that. You see, the thing is, when you have a sales team, you're dealing with people. Some of the guys, they may be going to menopause or menopause. You'll be surprised. Some of them may have behavior issues. Some of them may have whatever it is. So I always recommend, as my coach recommended me, is to have a marketing system.
Okay. So the marketing system is the marketing system where you are actually putting the sales team in place.
Yes.
Is it the place? Is it within the marketing plan that have the marketing set the sales?
Oh, definitely. So with that's exactly what I'm saying. So when you have a marketing system, you're not dependent upon the behavior that a person may go through when they're in the sales cycle. And another thing, when you have a marketing system can use sales letters. I mean, I don't know if I'm allowed to show cross.
Yes.
Sales letter.
Okay.
When you have a sales letter, the beauty about the sales letter is consistent. The sales letter says exactly the same thing over and over, as opposed to you might want to be flamboyant, want to say something in the sales script that's not there.
Okay. So when you say sales letter being consistent, and earlier you mentioned emotion and behavior. So they say sell is emotion, but you don't want to put forth that emotion of, oh, those people don't have money. Oh, I don't want to sell my painting because people in Florida, they don't pay that much money. So even though sales is emotion, but you're not forging that emotion for the person.
I'm coaching somebody.
Mhm.
And I specifically, and anytime I'm coaching people, I'm making sure that I'm doing the exact same thing that I'm telling them to do.
You apply.
Now, and I'm birthing it because the thing about coaching, we want them to birth it, right? So the same things that the homeworks, everything I ask them to do, I do it myself. When they come back and say it's not working, I said, well, what's your state of mind? Well, the state of mind was more like an entitlement. Like, I didn't have to do this. Well, my family members know what I do. I shouldn't have to be reminding them. We call this, it's a borderline move. This is going to hurt when I say this. This is more like, we call it, it's a system that has to do with, when you're receiving compensation from the government, or you're receiving welfare. It's a welfare type of thing. Like, if I'm entitled, and I shouldn't have to
ask for what they should do, send it to me automatically.
Exactly. They will say I shouldn't have to be asking for a referral. I shouldn't have to be doing this. And what happens is that I tell that person, you do not deserve to be an entrepreneur or a person that's selling for your business. You better quickly, before they come take your car, get you out of your house, make sure you go work for somebody, because obviously whoever that's guaranteed that paycheck, you most likely will abide grudgingly, but you will abide by that because you know that 10, 15, or $20 an hour is set in goal for you. And that's what it is. A lot of times people have that sense of welfare or semi-entitlement. Like, I shouldn't have to be doing this. I'm like, hold on a second. Who are you? I said, you shop like that? So when they send a letter or a thank you letter and they see, oh, I didn't get any response, I'm like, well, how long ago did you contact them before? And when I call them, they say, oh, I'm coming, I'll call you back later. The person can tell that I'll call you back later and something happened. You are the one that's in me. You do the follow up. So anytime people are being like that, and I'm going to use a curl word, shell there. So the people are going like, so they're really acting up. And I'm saying, you don't deserve to be in that field. So that's what really happened. Most owners have to shut down is because they're not selling. And they're not selling effectively.
Yeah, because I see that the pandemic or not, COVID or not, some people are expanding.
Yeah.
Schools are growing. Some people are making money. And I see a lot of people not even complaining. So therefore, the currency is moving.
Well, here's the beauty about it. And I'm sorry if I almost interfered with you. A lot of times, here's what most people don't realize. They don't realize that there's something that never changes, no matter what. When you think about the triangle, the money triangle, the money triangle never changes. No matter what government, no matter what stimulus, this stimulus, that, it remains the same. There's the top 1% that manages literally everything. There's the 4% that is somewhat okay, all right? And the others, they don't know what the heck is going on. So, they're floating, and that's what's happening. Another thing, most even business owners don't understand, and that's a question for even the audience, the people that are listening. Do you know how much money do you have to make per year in order to be considered part of the 6% of income in the United States? When I ask people that when I'm coaching business owners, they have no clue. They think to be part of the 6%. Most of the time they say 250 million. They're getting some crazy numbers.
So therefore, they don't know what the goal is, and they don't know where they're going.
Guess what? The fact that you're target, you're off, you're way off. Then you always think that there's that ceiling that's so high, you don't understand how close you are.
And you will never probably reach it as well.
Exactly, because it's already put in your mind, it's so far-fetched that only something illegal can get the money that you want. while there's so many things legally you can sell that can get you where you need to be.
That's right. That's right.
So if they don't know what 6% income, so you know they don't know what 1% also is. Now, should I educate our folks, or should we wait till they call for a consultation?
We educate them a little, so we will also put your name and your information so that they could reach you
Awesome.
for the one-on-one.
Definitely.
So I have a sales team, and my sales team is out there and ready to sell. What are we doing that makes it hardcore?
Okay. First of all, what you're doing to make it hardcore is you providing them also, first of all, the right prospect. Because this is 60% of the whole interaction. You give them a bad list, you'll find these guys smoking 10 packs of cigarettes, drinking alcohol, and at the same time, some might not even reach home. That's how depressing it will be. So they have to have the right list.
And when you talk about the list, you're talking about the lead or the
prospects. Exactly. If you give them whack leads, it's not going to happen.
Okay. So that's why it's very important to get the right leads. However, now let's say I have a sales team that worked with me since 2016 or 2010 when things were good. If those salesperson, I want to put the male and the female, if they are not coachable because they have to change with time, how coachable do they need to be in order for them to be successful in the selling? Do they have to go to personal development path from time to time?
It's highly recommended because, and I'll give you a quick example. Clement Stone was one of those guys, one of the people who had massive, we could say, it was an industry of finances, okay, life insurance, and how he coached his team. It was always on personal development. It says the more personally developed you are, the more coachable you will be.
Okay.
The more you will understand that there's more to what's going on in your mind. It's really what's happening out there. Most people think it's all about what's in their head. No, it's what's going on there, what's being projected. That's why listening has always been key in every sales. A lot of times people want to do a recommendation without having to do a diagnostic. Imagine you went to the doctor.
Okay.
They saw you from the door, and they already had a script ready for you. Would you take that script? Or would you think exactly? Would you think it's more like a pill popper, right? And that's what happens. You'll be like, I gotta get out of here. But when the person does what we call a discovery, a diagnosis, we're talking something that is more customized for you, as opposed to something that we call it a retail type, where a one fit all. Anytime you're doing that is either the price is right or a person is not given an option. When we're really selling to, let's say, the affluent wants something customized. They want something that was diagnosed, not something that everybody's getting, because they know that their situation may be different. They may have some stuff that they want, some recommendations, some anecdotes that they want to be in there, and that all that is very important. So to go on the sales team itself, when I said the word emotion, we're talking about the ones when you have a sales letter. The sales letter doesn't have time to be moody, to be off something or on something, or just was chewed up by the wife for not bringing enough money to pay certain bills. So that's why I was saying a lot of companies, when they do direct sale, direct selling, they always like to use the print, because the print letter is always correct. And when I say correct, given that it was done properly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, another thing that works dynamically is when a person is dealing with information that has to do with when you're sending, when you make calls out.
Okay.
When you're making calls out, it is so essential. All studies shows that anytime you have a rep that uses scripts, 80% successful. as opposed to when the person is basically doing it off memory or ad lib and trying to do something like that. Usually they will say the wrong word that is not a buzzword that will instantly scare the person away. But when you follow the script that was very well redacted, that follows the sales process and that really uses the psychology and the emotion given to the people where they're saying yes, 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 boxing them, because a lot of times people don't understand you gotta box the person. And how you box the person is very simple. Though you ask them, like for instance, Jenna, you do agree that a company nowadays, they don't have access to a chamber of commerce that's giving them the state of what's going on in the county that you're actually working, that you get a disadvantage, right? And you say yes. And then exactly. So grant certain things that's available. If you don't have that little bird that will send you an email or shoot you something, hey, there's something available, make sure you fill it out. There's something that's available for business owners. Make sure you fill it out. If you don't have that, so you want to say this in the box. When you ask the people, when they said they agreed to everything in the box, then at the end, when you're closing the sale, if they have an objection, you said to me that you know that having a chamber of commerce that's here working for you, making sure, letting you know all the advantages the city or the county or the state is giving is something that is important to you, then you basically solve your own objections.
It's true.
That's all hardcore selling.
We're talking about following a system, a foolproof process, because, like you said, sometimes people are deviating from the message.
Yes.
And if somebody is not coachable and they want to be very creative, I don't think the best salespersons are very creative. I think somebody who's creative is creative. But I think the salesperson should actually follow the script.
Yes.
They should actually continue with the process that's given them, because this was a full process.
Yes.
Once we have studied, we had completed what had happened before. So, like you were talking about the objection, we have done this person has said that, and we came back with such and such rebuttal. So, you follow this, you're comfortable, you sell. But if you want to deviate, if you're not somebody who's straight.
And that's the beauty about when you're doing sales. Now, don't get me wrong. A lot of people might say, Max, not because you're into sales letters means that everybody got to be on sales letter. I'm just letting you know, the last coaching I got is just you do a little bit of everything. You know, you got to do the text, you got to do radio, you got to do the social media. You got because you're gonna get a little bit and keep tracking it. If it's not working, you change it. Most of my success has been on radio. I mean, and the fact that it was on radio is one method. And the danger in any business owner is to have one method to do things. Because the day that you get shut down or muzzled or you get banned, like the guy that got banned from Twitter, guess what's happening? Then you don't have any other outlet. But if you had another outlet, your message could still get out. And that's what happened. A lot of times people have one method, one sales process, multiple. You want to have multiple because you don't know which one that's going to be stuck. The only reason I say sales letters, ladies and gentlemen, is because there's a little invention that is very old that you can do whatever you want to do in that little invention based on your message, that it will never be disqualified and they're not going to censor you. If I go, I'm a dentist, and I go on Facebook, and I put a bunch of people's teeth that's jacked up, and I say, this is, if your teeth is like that, you should be ashamed. But if you come to me, this is how your teeth will be.
Before and after.
Before and after. Guess what Facebook will do? It'll shut down your thing because you're being desensitized. You're actually you're not being nice to other people who have jacked up teeth, so you're really being a bully. I'm a marketer. I have to show you if your teeth is jacked up, okay? You want to come to me because I'm a professional. Well, because I can't do that in this platform, because one thing that they'll do, they'll shut you down. And if that's the only means of advertising that you have, or marketing you have, your business will suffer.
So now you solve the problem of having the second letter and using social media.
Exactly. So that's why we say whatever it is, you track it. And that's why a person always got to do what? Personal development. There's ways that you want to do things so that you can keep tracking it. Because there are times you will be shut down for a little bit. You want to have something else that's working. If you don't have something else that's working, you're done. You're done.
I was reading somewhere that they said that many people question the word hardcore when you talk about sales because they feel it cheapens in some ways raise the dark side of sales. The person says, well, forget them because hardcore sell is the ingredient that is missing right now in most sales people. Hardcore is the element that distinguishes a super performer from what they call a phone warmer.
Yes.
A super performer, and because I'm a salesperson because I couldn't get a real job. So those people are called phone warmer because that's all they could do, just pick up the phone and actually deliver anything. And the person was saying that I made no apology for being a hardcore salesperson. Do you apologize for being blunt and being a salesperson?
You see, when people hear the word hardcore, they think that person is rude. Mm-hmm. Hardcore doesn't mean you're rude. You see, if you follow the sales process to the T, you have less buyer's remorse because that person has been not only prepared, but they've gone through the sales cycle effectively. Where there's a whole lot of stuff you don't want even to have to ask because the process is smooth. The person is educated about the product. They know exactly what they're doing. They understand the terms. And then guess what? Closing should be the easiest part of the thing.
I was just going to talk about that.
If you have to wheel in the person to close, you skip something. And the fact that you skip something, even if you're not closing, don't be surprised if there's a buyer's remorse situation because the close should have been the easiest part of the whole process.
They say also that a great salesperson, superstars as they call them, the hardcore sellers, have of value to every business. They live outside the usual rules of the average salesperson because no business wants to lose the superstars. And that's exactly what you said. Mm-hmm. You said that if the person can sell, the person can perform, it doesn't matter. Whether it's this company or that company, what they know how to do, which is sell, they'll sell. So if whether you coach them to sell shoes, from selling a TV, they'll just sell.
Exactly. Well, I'll even be funny today. Even if you want to sell people and taking the vaccine. You didn't think I was good there.
So I want you to tell me into getting a vaccine.
Well, first of all, any vaccine I would actually hardcore selling you to take would have been a natural vaccine. First of all, it would be garlic. Okay, Asia, and some other things that we have. This is the one that we're telling people to take, really. A lot of times people are getting themselves involved while their body's not up to par to actually go through the whole process. But if you're looking at the process that the media since the change of power, the process that they're using is a process that's called brainwashing. Everybody's saying go out and get your vaccine. Through the model of repetition, it's more like a brainwashing system where you hear the repetition enough, then it comes in your subconscious mind. Then you're starting realizing that, hey, you know what? I better go and get that vaccine. Knowing very well, it is not a what? It is not a cure. Okay? It's for prevention purposes. So a lot of times, I feel like I was at the park today with my kids, and nobody had asked. Nobody wants to do social distancing anymore. They all think
At
this
a
is
game, at a park.
yeah.
Okay.
I was surprised when I saw the courts. They put that the nets and all that. Us, we remain between among ourselves. But those people, they were people that don't live in their household, which all that and is rich. So that's why if you're talking about hardcore selling right now, because you might say, well, the pandemic thing is still really going on. It's still going on because, okay, don't expect that people are going to start acting responsibly to have this thing be really a matter that we really going to get. And understand that we're going to be victorious. So there will still be issues. There will be people missing from work. There's some people that won't be going back to work. And there's people who are having work going to end up going to work. And the fear factor will still be there. Because a lot of times when you look at it, I've been to several places, and guess what? You see, I have this. Most people have nothing. They think that everything is jolly good. And what I was saying, oh yeah, it's I always have multiple. I think I even have another one here too. So it's like
I guess you're well protected.
well, guess what? As a natural health practitioner, we are not crazy about the mask. If you see how I take my supplements now, I leave them in my bathroom. So what I do when I wake up, I take everything before I even walk out of my front door. Even in my bedroom, I already have taken everything. And when I come in, I do the same thing. Now, does that mean that's going to save me? No, I'm doing a lot better than that's not taking it.
Now, showing on TV or everywhere else, somebody taking the vaccine, while maybe on social media they're showing people who are having adverse reaction to the vaccine. Hardcore sell or brainwashing?
Well, it's brainwashing.
You think that out of the 300 million people that are living in America, so far we had 6 million already took the vaccine?
Oh, funny because
How would we go?
that's funny because see, one of the networks said 20 million already took it.
Okay.
So that's what I got before I came here.
Well,
I'm like, that's quick.
let's go back to sales and let's talk about trust. Since
Okay.
we talk about coaching. If we are so scared, and when we're looking at the 360 million, and if I get 100 and what are we like 250 or 300 million everyone die, and then now if we only 20 million to take it, if we're looking at it percentage wise, so we still 300,000 died, but less than 30,000 had the vaccine and the vaccine is out. So also we still looking at the 1%, huh?
Well, kind of this. You see, there's two things that happen at the same time. As the vaccine came in, a bunch of people dropped their guards.
Okay. Even though they did not take it, or they didn't know whether they were eligible, or they would have access to it. So the fact that in your mind it exists is kind of
Oh yeah, lay back. You could see it because when you think about economy, death, economy, sickness, economy, people are looking at it this way. Yeah, some people they just look at it that I want to be able to pay my bills.
okay.
And funny thing how even those service companies, the minute it's hit your bill, now they do the extra call, collection call. Hey, I know you got that stimulus, and I know you had 7 kids, so you should be getting a good amount of money. So we want to get paid too. That's how most people, when I ask those families, rent, money for he said all the way. Forget about the rent.
Really?
Yeah, because they're looking at that. I don't want my kid to die because there's no food.
Regardless of the fact that we have so many food distribution from the county, from the cities.
Well,
I thought everybody was fed.
Well, you see how that is. I mean, I personally, I would say,
you're not talking
as a salesperson, Instead of standing in a line, I would be better off by selling whatever extra shoes and clothes I have in a corner store to feed myself. There are people who are not that way. Time is our most valuable asset. And most people don't see that. There are people who have not been conscious as we have been. And therefore they will, at least they think they need that extra push from the government.
Selling with dignity, receiving with dignity. I probably will consider myself fortunate for not having to stay online to get the food, or maybe I resign myself of not having any food and stay home hungry. But I'm thinking there could be a different way as a salesperson if I were to say, okay, well, I realize that people lose their jobs and we need to feed them. I think there's other ways for you to give them access to that food, whether you give them a card, or they could just choose themselves what they want instead of and you know maybe I could be the devil's advocate. So all those food distribution and sometimes the same people are going to different food distribution. I'm wondering about the population of this because those people are actually leaving their houses.
Yes, and that's why we say had the system wanted to do it effectively, where there's not a line of people in their cars and all that. Look at one of our major distribution. Do you think that if quote unquote, and I don't own stocks with Amazon, I'm just telling you a company that I know that distributes things very quickly. Had they received that contract, they don't even have drones to drop your box. What I'm saying to you, there's other ways that we know that works, but we're not going to do it. We're going to do things where it will service what we call in sales with them. What's in it for me? The what's in it for me is something where the elected officials are going to look, hey, you know I'm going to step on some foot.
That's fine. You
And you see, I have a shirt that says, I knew if you haven't offended anybody, that's not involving. You gotta offend somebody.
And I would agree with you because I often realize that in one city with five different commissioners, we have 5 food distribution. I'm like, should the city just do 5 different food distribution than having 5 commissioners doing each of them a food distribution. It's true. It's a matter of what's in it for me.
You know what time it is. So it's a wholesome moment. It's a wholesome moment. I fed you guys when we were in need. And got your number.
I'm gonna pay for that. I had one elected official after losing saying that, well, when I'm no longer commissioner, who will give you the backpack and the turkeys? And we want to have not only a coachable salesperson who are effectively selling, but we want people who are effectively buying what they need, buying the solution that they need to buy, not just propaganda of, I was there for you when you wanted a meal, or were you there for me when I wanted a job? Were you there for me when I wanted to be empowered? Were you there for me when I wanted to switch career? Were you there for me when I didn't have light at the house or the children didn't have internet access? And when we talk about hardcore selling, let's just move over the politician. Do you really sell hard?
Guess what? I gotta go in deeper into politics because what you just said, it reminds me of a lot of people think because they chose the current administration that things are going to get back to normal. No. You see, prior to that, we're going to face economic crisis regardless. We get to choose which character. We chose this character. The only difference between the other character is this character. We're not going to get a whole lot of tweets. That's all. But
as a salesperson, you probably had sucks.
Yeah.
Twitter.
This is the best ever. A lot of people do not understand. There are people who manage their system to always be victorious even when they're losing.
I like that.
So we're changing with
there are people who are in the system who manage to always be victorious even
when they're losing.
That's deep.
And guess what? It is perfectly fine. Understand this. You have somebody that had more than 75 million, quote unquote, people voted for. You think that that person wasn't close? It is close. Understand this. This is the time for this brother to do one thing alone. Prosper beyond imagination. I would be surprised if he's not part of the 100 top billionaires by that time. Because guess what? You're left a pandemic. All you have to do is take a few $100,000 and put it around anything that has to do with vaccine, cotton ball, what do you call that stuff? Gauze, anything that has to do with that, you invest into those companies that's in stocks. What most people don't understand. Yeah, and this is the thing. When I remember I was saying that to my mom, and she was like, she was talking about it. You don't understand. This is the setup. And that's the part that was so awesome because imagine prior to the full ordeal, there was 2.2 billion that was endorsed by Deutsche Bank. When you have that and you have a crisis, what do you have available? A bunch of businesses that are failing, even probably some of them are techs. All you have to do is do money what? You infuse money in those companies and you own a percentage of it. That's all mathematics. It works very well. And there are some people, even when they're losing, they're winning.
You know, you are definitely giving me the best idea for my next guest when it comes to investment. So, as you see, the chamber is here to serve. The chamber is here to help you not only understand certain parts, and definitely beside the legalities of registering business, you do need a business plan. We always say that. You do need a marketing plan.
Yes.
And that marketing plan, you need to have your sales team. And we explain that your sales team is not that you hire people to sell for you, but you're the one selling, whether it's the person who is managing your social media. What are they selling as far as your page, your product? Is it well presented? Is it well packaged? So all this is part of the sales team. We definitely recommend you to reach out to Max Cavalier, CLO. Not only have his title and his phone number. Max, are you still giving out free 10 or 15 minutes consultation?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. There's a reason why there's a lot of people, their first rule of owning a business is have clarity. Once you have clarity, the next thing that's focus. When they asked two different billionaires that were at an event together, what's the single key to their success? Both of them replied together, focus. That I was Bill Gates and also Buffett. You want to have extreme laser focus because there's so many distractions. There's some people can't get 3 things done by noon because they're distracted by social media, WhatsApp, TikTok, and a whole bunch of other nonsense. And they wonder how come they can't make payroll at the end of the week.
You have to stay focused.
You gotta
be focused. You gotta be determined, and the determination would only come from your focus. It's only when you focus that you will be determined to see the results.
Definitely. My friends at home had me. I was just put a 30-day graph where I unsubscribed almost everything that has nothing to do with me. Yeah. And I was only able to be on social media for 30 minutes after 5 o'clock. That means I got to get all my works done. They're blasting my phone throughout the day. I never answer them. Some people, I don't answer them for 5 days. They thought I was dead. The only reason they didn't realize, I got to realize how much of a distraction they have been to me. And I got so much more things done. So when I get home, my kids don't tell me that they got to put me in the store because me coming home with work, it's the worst thing. You having to come home with work. And they ask me to go to the group. Yeah, exactly.
And then you still,
group.
You know, it's really funny how when you say focus, and if I was not among the millionaire, and I use a layman term people try to attribute, they always ask me, so what makes you successful? And when I really think about it, it was always time management.
Mm.
And time management to me, it's my limit. But
Yeah.
you know what? At the end of the day, it's focus. It's
Yes.
being able to say, well, you know what? On Monday morning from 8 to 12, I'm not receiving any calls. So whatever issues you have on Saturday and Sunday, you can only reach me at noon on Monday because that slot is reserved to me focusing on what needs to be, how I need to start that week. That's my time.
You see, we call that ruthless time management.
Oh, you and those words, you
And
ruthless,
there's
Marco.
a reason I'm saying this. What's the difference between my neighbor breaking into my house, take my jam and my peanut butter, and the difference between a friend, somebody that's not invited, that gets coming into my work, come to talk about stuff that has nothing to do with me, with no appointment, interfere with my day. They're both the same. And quite frankly, guess what? The person that comes into your office robs you even more, but it's still a robbery. Whether they break into the house, okay, or even if friendly, they just get in the backyard because it's always open, borrow, say the word borrow, borrow your peanut butter and jam, right? They took something from you. And when it's come to that, that's why a lot of times when you go to like a car shop, you will always see 20%. And it was interesting. Yeah, 80-20.
I didn't even know that. I'm all psychic now.
20% of the church, of the group, of the whatever, is producing for the other 80%, 80% of the whole thing. Where the other 80% are not even, they're barely making that 20%. So that 80-20 rule is relevant. It's so relevant because you will always see in every program that I've been, you will see there's a few that is dedicated, and these are the ones that's always the superstar. But yeah, we're gonna say that they're in secret societies, they're having some kind of pact with the devil. We're gonna blame it on that. Yeah, we're gonna blame it on that because we're not doing what we're supposed to do. And then we're claiming that those people have all these conspiracies and things like that. I'm telling you, the very word that we read, into the word of God, the Bible, you will notice there's always a few that gets the maximum done. And that's why that's what's the craziest thing. If you want to get any type of wisdom to really increase your sales process, read those 31 proverbs every month.
Oh, so one proverb a day.
One proverb a day. It'll tell you the one who are lazy. It's talking about that. And I'll send you to Proverbs 16. It's so packed. It's so packed on so many things. The sloth person the person that's not working, you know what they're doing. The lazy ones. You have lazy salespeople. Lazy salespeople, they're the one that's trying to do a one-hit wonder. They tell you this and they expected that because you came here, you should have bought. They don't understand you're coming to get more information. You probably want to be clear on certain things. They have that welfare system in their mind that because you came to the door, you should be a sale.
Max, I want to thank you. I have so great whenever we have this conversation about sales. You make it so much fun, and I don't feel like sales. And today, I think we're two very, very important word that I think that my audience should really look into. It's focus and clarity. You have a sales team, you need to be focused on what you are selling and how you want to sell it. It's going to help you with clarity. I urge you, please call Max at the number below, 786-359-6457. If you don't have a sales team yet, talk to Max. If you haven't written your business plan nor your marketing plan, you call Max. Thank you so much, Max, for being on the Global Business Talk Show. It is always a pleasure to have you, Mr. Sales Training Director.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. As you know, sales is everything. Sales is what you do at life. How you sell your family for what college, what place you're gonna live, and really wanting to have a better life. For all those who are listening who might probably not been in this country or weren't born in this country, the biggest thing for you was to have the American dream. Well, the American dream is still relevant and it's within reach. All you want to do is notch on that word sales. It's a good word. And once you do it with dignity and trust, kudos to you. Thank you very much, DJ.
Thank you, Max. Thank you for being on the Global Business Talk Show.
Bye, guys.
Bye bye.